Hey guys, welcome to day 35 of our devlog, and we are adding keybinds to our menu. Now these were not in the original asset that we are basing our menu on, so we've basically added this button here, and we have duplicated. We've got this widget switcher and we've added the keybind options panel to it, but unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, it has all this additional stuff in it that we do not require. Right, so we can basically delete everything down here. Now I already have the code for this in a widget from a previous game, so with that in mind, I'm going to copy it. Okay, so let me just find it. I have another project open on my other screen here, and that's what I'm using to do this. So with that in mind, we have an options screen, which I'm going to let you see in a minute. Okay, that's the wrong one. Sorry if anybody's talking to me in the chat. I've got the chat covered up at the moment. Oh, somebody, how you doing? So we've got this key bindings one, and we're basically using the same system as this other asset, or something very similar. Okay, and we need to basically find the key bindings one, which is this here. Okay, and that is a vertical box, as you can see, with a scroll box, and it's in 2 canvas panels within our widget switcher. Okay, oh, that's good, somebody. It's good to do the performance stuff. I don't know how you're checking it or not, if you're using the profiler or whatever, but it's always good to, oh, you have a question, fire away. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm adding axis bindings and action bindings, right? So axis bindings are like for movement, and the action ones are for like interacting, that type of stuff. Okay, that's all going to basically become obvious when I start doing this. I'm not going to copy the code directly. Well, I'll be copying some of the code, but I'm not going to copy the widget directly, although we will take inspiration from it. What's the question, somebody? So basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at this. And that option panel, and we have copied that, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to add a canvas panel, which will be under panels. Yes. Now, I don't know if it's going to actually give you more performance. The thing to do with performance is to add LODs to your system. So, for example, right, if you've got a model, let's say, let's not do those ones because those are kind of using them. Right, we'll pick something that I think we aren't using. Could be here. Right. So if you open a static mesh, right, and these actually might be merged already, but they're not. You'll see, actually, give me 1 second. Developer tools, widget reflector. Make this a bit bigger for you guys so you can see it better. Right, so you'll see here that we've got LOD 0, right? Now as you zoom out, you'll notice that the LOD isn't changing, okay? So the number of triangles stays the same, number of vertices stay the same, right? So what you can do is you can come in here, go to the details, and basically create levelly details, right? So you can basically tell this, I want 4 LODs, right? And then apply changes, right? Now watch what happens. This is 98 triangles, 260 vertices, right? But when we zoom out now, it should have actually calculated the LODs. Wait a minute. I think we've got to set it to use, well, it's set to use. Auto compute. That should be it. Unless the distance, no. Well, under normal circumstances, I'll explain it to you, right? As you zoom out or like go a distance from the model, right, it'll basically change the detail. Okay, so instead of using 260 vertices, this number will go down. I don't know what's wrong with this particular thing, but it might be a merged. You'll see there the screen size and reduction settings, right? But we'll change this back and I'll have a look at another one, because that might not be a very good example. Right, I'm trying to find a good example here. Let's go to here. Okay, so let's pick a wheel, right? And this hasn't got LODs set up either. Well, it says it has. Okay, I don't know how this is set up. Right, but as it goes away, if it's set up properly, you'll see that the number of triangles it uses. I don't know about nanite. I don't even know if nanite would make things perform better. In theory, probably it shouldn't. But basically you need to set up LODs, right? And it depends on your, you can set it to whatever, right? We'll say none. Right, okay, whatever. Well, I'd have to see the figures on it and why it does it. I wouldn't just take anybody's word for it. Could be true, don't know. Right, so that was a small prop. We'll set that back to what it was. But anyway, if you've set it up properly, don't know why these aren't doing it, but normally in your editor here, it'll show that it's using, as you move further away, it uses like less vertices. Obviously that'll make it less triangles. Right, but that's how you do it, and that's where you set it up. You set it up in the static mesh, right? And I'm pretty sure that, well, I don't know, I would be, as far as I'm aware, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, I don't know, but as far as I'm aware, is nanite basically not just a sort of texturing thing? It textures things in a different way? I don't know. Anyway. Well, that's a very generic test. That doesn't mean anything. Right, because basically it's going to be more to do with how fast his computer is out with the actual graphics card, right? If everything's set at 8K, then the textures are going to be big, which means it's going to be loading textures more than anything else. Right, so there's a lot goes into whether or not, it depends on whether, it depends how you do it. If they're all individual blades of grass, then yes. And if they're all individual leaves, then yes. But it really depends on more than just how many are on the screen, right? Because if all your models and stuff are optimized and basically for that, I've seen people put millions of asteroids on the screen in Unreal Engine 4 and still get 120 frames a second, right? So it really depends. And it also depends on what else is going on in your game. Right, so we're going to add a canvas panel to our key binding, and we add another canvas panel to that. Okay, we'll undo that because that didn't exactly do what I wanted it to do. Right. So this here and this is a bit of a pain. We might need to change this because this is a uniform grid. We might not want a uniform grid. Yeah, you need to come into the Discord and show us some pictures of your development, somebody. See what you're doing, because I've no idea what you're doing, so kind of describing it isn't really helping, but right, so this is probably not going to be an options. This is probably not going to be an options panel. Right, this is probably going to be... Yeah, no worries, somebody. I look forward to seeing it. It's always interesting to see what other people are up to. Right, so let's refer back. Right. And I'm going to copy this. Now, I'm going to save this first. Right. Because I've got a very sneaky suspicion that this might crash. Right. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this down right, and we're going to get a vertical box. Okay. We're going to delete that. And then we're going to paste. Okay. Now, we've got a vertical box here. And we're going to have to pad it on the right. We're going to delete that. Right, we'll leave that for now. And what we'll do is we'll change this. Right. And we'll change this. Okay. And we've got a vertical box here that we obviously add to. Okay. So I'm looking at my other screen here. And what we're going to do now is we'll save that, we'll go to our graph, right, and we're going to create another function, and we're going to call it fill keybinds. Okay, and this is going to fill our keybinds. Okay. Then in here we're going to add a local variable called current binding name. Okay. And that's going to be a name. I'm going to save that. Right, I'm just going to check on this to see what all the settings are. Now this appears to have, okay, we need a normal, we'll create these as locals, right, first, and if it stops working then we'll, so that's int key counter, and that's going to be an integer. Okay. And And next thing we're going to do, can you show something of the game? I could. If you give me a minute, I'll move this out of the way. Now, we're on the main menu, so now, damn it. Okay, that's fine. I've been mucking about with this. So what we can do, this is all the models, isn't it? So if we go into here, actually to here, so this is just a test map for running around in. There is an actual map, but as you can see, you walk around, you're affected by the weather, you affect snow, you can climb up stuff. We have got a finish animation for getting on top of that, but anyway, so you can do that. You can light fires. This is me just working on a lot of the mechanics of stuff. You can obviously go open doors. Right, these boxes switch off some of the animations, like the weather no longer affects you. So that's to simulate going inside so that you don't basically put your hand up, right? Then what you can do is you can go into bow and arrow mode and shoot stuff. And I believe I shot him there. Right, now if I did, yep. And then what you can do is you can go up and you can skin them, and you'll notice that the hunger bar's going down. It tells you that you've picked up something. So then you can go into your inventory. It tells you deer meat 0.25. You can click on it and you can view the thing that you picked up, right, if you spin it around. And then what you can do is you can use it, and then if you notice that your food goes up again, your hunger bar, right? These guys are working away, they're set to work away at certain hours and stuff, but you can still go and talk to them. And then they'll react to you how they should. So if they're working, they're going to react to you in a slightly different way than if they're going to work, stuff like that. Okay. And there are bad guys out there, which I haven't coded the AI for yet, but so you can pick up stuff, use it, it goes into your inventory, blah de blah, you can shoot stuff, you can go to bed, you can start fires. Oh yeah, and when you start the fire, if you get close to the fire, you'll notice on the left hand side my temperature goes up. right? So you're not basically freezing to death anymore. Okay. You can shoot all the animals. And this will give you, obviously, this is a deer or a doe. So you can go down, skin that, and that will give you etc, etc. So there is a full first level, or there is a full world, but I just use this one just now so that I can test out mechanics. Okay. And yeah, there you go. So what we're going to do is go back to our main menu, alright, we're going to set this to nothing, and we're going to set that to 0. These might have to get changed from local variables into blueprint wide variables, but we'll see in a minute. Okay. Our next thing is we're going to do that. We're going to clear out the action bindings and clear out the axis bindings. Okay. Our next thing, and this is where it's going to get a bit weird, is we're going to do another sequence. Right, and this is where we're going to get back the names of our things and decide what to do with them. We're going to do a very similar thing here, except the top one is going to be axis and the bottom is going to be actions. Right, so this is where we start getting interesting. Now, this is where we're going to have to link to make sure that these match our actual key bindings, the names for our key bindings, or they will not show up. Okay, and then we're going to have to get I think we have to create one more widget. Okay, there we go. And now there's a big, rather large bit of code that I'm going to do that's based on another widget Okay. And I might be able to copy all this, but we'll see. Maybe not. Save all. Right, here we go. So, we are going to go into our widgets. And the problem here right, main menu, and we're going to create a widget blueprint. It's going to be W keybinds. Okay, we're going to open that up. And the first thing we're going to do here is save this, because you do tend to get a few crashes. I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to paste. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to change the font on this to that, and that is us. But it probably isn't, because we've got to add all of the variables that we require. Now what I could have done was I could have actually migrated this, and maybe that's what I should have done. We'll have a shot. Let's do that, guys. Let's have a go at that, right? Let's see if we can migrate a widget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. Right? And the next thing I'm going to do is okay, whatever. Well, we certainly don't want to do that. It's asking me if I want to migrate practically everything. Right, so this is going to work, right? So I'm going to have to go with the way I've done it before. right? Because I'm not going through every single blueprint and whatever, and it's trying to basically do everything there. Key binding. Right, back in here. Delete that. Paste that back in. Text block. Do that. Go to the graph. And we're basically going to be copying things. So we're going to copy that. We're going to paste it in there, and that's going to be a name. We're going to copy that, and I've already got the name of this one ready to go. Right, and our next key, add another one, and this one's going to be slightly different. This is going to be an input chord, and it's the last key selected, and this one is going to be last selected. Sorry, it's not going to be that. It's going to be last changed key. Then we'll save that. And this is where it might come a cropper. Right, but parent widget, and I believe our parent widget is WBP options panel. Okay, we might need to do something with that though. Got a couple more. So we've got one, that's going to be sub index, and that's going to be an integer. Then index, and then temp scale. I don't know how required that one is. Right, a parent widget is going to obviously be a expose on spawn. Okay. And then we've got is axis, and that's going to be a bool. And that's also an expose on spawn for some reason. Not too sure yet why I did that, but I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. We'll find it out in a minute. Okay. can basically delete all those. And we can now do a lot more stuff. Basically what I can do now is copy and paste a couple of things in that make this all work, or at least it should. Famous last words, huh? Alright, if we go back to here and we paste, why are those connected to something? Right, we'll undo that. What the heck? And I think we'll undo that. I think we'll undo that and we'll try that again, shall we? Right. That's a bit better. Okay. And the first one we set is access to no. Right. And this one we go like that. Okay, that's fine and dandy. We'll just have to fix these as we go here. Delete that. Right, so that isn't going to allow us to do that. That should actually be set. So we set action name, set action name. So that is going to go in there. That is going to go in there. That is going to go in there, and that's going to go away. Now our next thing add to. Okay, so this isn't going to work right until I kind of compile it. And we're doing another construct here. We're doing this KB selector. So we need this right? So, user interface again, widget, W underscore KB. Now, I'm pretty sure this is fairly simple. Yep. It's not anything. Okay, so designer, and we copy what's in the original, and that gets deleted, and then we paste in there. Okay. And we'll leave that as it is for now. All we'll do is make sure we've got a readable font. Right, but we'll change the colours around. And on that, I think I'll take a 2-minute break, guys. So if you're enjoying the stream, hit like, subscribe, check out the description. Antim Arenkov. No, I don't use Unreal Engine 5. If you check my channel, there's a video on it. So no, not at the moment. I don't use Unreal Engine 5. So I'm going to save everything and check out the description, guys, for links to my Discord, my Patreon where you can support the channel and the content, and also my previous game on Steam, which is on sale at the moment for $1. So I shall be back in 2 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. Okay guys, we are back. Now, this all seems a lot of work, right? Which it is, granted, but it'll all become clear in the end why I'm doing this, right? When it all works. And then it'll be great. And we need yep, we've got that. That's cool. That's all done. Don't need any code in there. So in here we do KB okay. We get the text key selector. And we plug it in there. We delete that. And we now do a big reroute. Is that right? Yeah, that was right. That goes to there. This probably won't go in here. We go HB selectors. And that goes in there. We delete that. We delete that and that. We do that. And finally, we can do this one. And we can basically start deleting these. It's going to go in there. Okay, we don't want to delete that one. We'll delete those. And yeah. And now all we need to do now is go like that. Okay, now we have got to do another one, but we'll check on this one first. Ooh, that's not good. Previous binding name. Ooh. So we're going to check where this comes from. it's actually in our options. Right, so we're going to have to take this right back and so we're going to go to here and we're going to say duplicate. Okay. And that's probably still going to error. But that's okay. Because we're just going to do that. Okay. So we still have a problem. We're going to set that. And that goes in there. That goes, this gets moved up a bit. Compile that. And there we go. Right, now does this work is the question. And the first thing we need to check. Oh, and by the way, Artyom, all of this will work in all of this code will work in Unreal Engine 5. Right? So, we need to check that these things here, forward, backward, left and right, are what our keybinds are actually called. Okay? Now, we could test it, or we could check. So, let's check. And this is it, move forward. And move right. Okay, so these actually need split up, right? So that we can set these up individually. Okay? But we can check if it works or not. So we've got move forward, move right, okay? You can see here, we've got, if we change this now to move forward, and then we change this to move right, okay? Then we should get something, in theory. Okay, so what we've got to do is we've got to go back to our main menu. Right, press play, and let's see what we get. Options, keybinds, and we get absolutely nothing. And that's fine, because we didn't tell it to do it. Okay? We didn't tell it to fill the keybinds here. Fill keybinds. Save that. And try again. Options, keybinds. Ta-da! And there you can see we're getting movement ones. Okay, but as you can see, these move forwards aren't a single thing, right? So basically what I want to do is split each of our inputs into basically one or two, right? So you'll have forward will be up and W, right? Move backward would be down and S, and move right will be D, and move left will be A, right? So we can do that easily enough, right? If we stop that and we go back to our project settings and go to input, and we're not looking at action mappings right now, we'll do that one in a minute. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to add one, and we're just going to say forward. Okay. Then we're going to add one again, and we're going to say backward. Now the interesting one about this is on the scale here we're going to have -1. Okay. Then we're going to add another one. And it's going to be right. Then we're going to add another one. And we're going to say left. And the left one is going to be -1. Okay. So now what we could do is we can say forward is W, backward is S, right is D, left is A. Okay, and then what we can do is we can start removing these. Okay, but that saves itself, and we'll go back to here and back to here, right? And if we change these to the real names, right, we're going to have forward, backward, left and right. Okay, and if we save that, and now we press play, there we go. Okay. And now we can basically do the other one. Okay, for our other actions. Okay. Now we've got our sequence here. We can save that. And this doesn't quite work. But we'll get it working in no time. That's going to be key binding. And that's going to be KB selector. And basically again here all we need to do is basically fix all these. So that's going to be TXT action. And just plug them back in. And that is going to be action name. Right. So we're just going to be replacing that. Then we'll add a reroute node. I wonder if there's anybody can know if there's a shortcut to a reroute node. Shortcut button. Sure there is. But anyway. Undo that. That's definitely not what I meant to do. Add a reroute node. Add tree root node. Right, so we're just going to say text key selector, delete that, it goes in there. That's going to be HB selectors. That's going to go there. That's going to delete that. Then that is going to go straight into there. Okie dokie. Delete that. Delete that. Delete them. There we go. Refresh that. And now all we do is the same thing again. Right? Now we'll do this in a, we'll make it look impressive way. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll go in here, project settings. If we go to input now, right, and then we look at action mappings, we can see interact, pick up, inspect, inventory. Interact. Okay. And we stick a reroute node here. So we save that. And now pick up, inspect, inventory. We can run that. Now we've got interact. Okay. And as you can see, it's in a scroll box, so no matter how long this gets, it's going to work. Pick up. Inspect. Inventory. Oops. And if we save that, press play. Options, keybinds. You can now see we've got interact, pick up, inspect inventory, and we have our movement. Okay. And we can change these, as you can see. So we now have fully working keybinds for our game. Okay. Now we did have a couple more settings, I believe, that we can check out. And that was left button. And equip bow is the middle button. Now we can leave them, or we can actually allow them to set up a button for that, as well as actually using a key. Right? Now this one actually has got a button associated with it. But in theory, we could do Q and E. Equip bow, fire bow. Just to give you the example, right? We could use Q. Right, let's say Q. Right, and for fire arrow, let's say space bar. That would be a reasonable assumption, right? And this one, this N, will basically remove that. Okay, so we've got equip bow, fire arrow. So basically all we need to do is duplicate them and add these in. So we say equip bow, fire arrow. Okay. And these should now appear for us. And there we go, equip bow, fire arrow. Okay. Now we can or could add multiples to these, right? So for example, right, in our project settings, we could add alternatives and it will still work. Right, so if we were to do that, go back to our axis mappings, go to forward, backward, left and right, right, we could add, what happened there? I did add it, but Well, actually that's up, isn't it? Right, we need to set this one to -1. That's going to be down. Let me add one there. That's going to be left. Actually, no, that's going to be right. So this is going to be the arrow keys, okay? And then finally, we put minus. And this one is left. Okay. So you can see there that they've now got the two different object options. So there you have it, we have a fully working key binding system. Okay. So that wasn't too bad. Let's have a look to see what just having a quick check on the FA Cup scores. Liverpool are 2-2 with Wolves at the moment. Newcastle got beat earlier. Interesting. Bit of an upset there by Sheffield Wednesday, I believe. Right, so now I need to fix something. In our main menu. Right, that can go. And it's going to be in our options panel somewhere when I basically start the game. Which I can't exactly remember where exactly it is. It's on the actually it was on the continue button, I think. But we need it on the new game button, and then we need to carry on fixing all this stuff that needs to be done regarding the save game slots. We're gonna have to redo some of that stuff, which is okay. Don't mind doing that. It's a rather nice feeling when you get it done, but it's actually in our main menu button. Right, if we look at this continue, if we want to continue testing stuff, right, we're going to need this. Right, until we're ready to actually do the actual loading stuff. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to put it also in our new game button. Right. And we're just going to plug that in there. And that should allow us to actually jump into the test level now from the menu, even though we're not loading it from a slot or anything yet, but we'll get there. Right, so if we click new game, right, and there we go. That's obviously still doing a lot of errors because we're still trying to interact with some of the old code from that other asset, but we'll gradually fix that up. As we move away from that, all the errors will gradually disappear because we're using our own widgets. Right? So, actually guys, I'm going to have to go for a comfort break. So hang on in there, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Check out the description, hit like, subscribe. I'll be back in a moment or two. Okay folks, sorry for the interruption there. Now, what we need to do now is we need to start working on our actual save game system. Okay, what I've done is I've got us to load the save slots, right? So this is going to basically allow you to continue. Okay, now I've set EMS up so that we can save the game. Okay, which is something that we probably want to check. Right, so let's have a little test of that, shall we? If we go into our test map, right, and we open our pawn, okay, we have our press A thing. Now what we're going to have to do is we've set our save interface, okay, and there is one more thing that we need to do, I believe, and that's because she now has this interface, we have to tell it what things to save. Okay, so when we go into here, you'll notice that we'll need to do this save game thing. Okay, now this is only going to have to be, we could test it with this. Okay, and current mode, and actually we'll do it with new inventory, and we'll leave it at that for now. And I believe save game actors. Okay, but I'm going to have to get this from another project just so that I'm not wasting a lot of time. And it's that one, right? So on 8 we should save. Okay, now I don't know exactly how this works, but what we shall actually do here is we'll start applying this to things, and I think the easiest way to do it is to actually do it on a door, right? So if we say edit door, right, we get the class settings and we add EMS. Okay, we save that. and I'm pretty sure by default it saves a thing's what do you call it, condition. Okay. Now, interestingly, this is on a flip-flop, right? So we're going to have to do something about this. So when we load that in, we're going to have to be able to tell whether it's open or closed. Okay? So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to say open and on our flip-flop, we should actually have just tried this first, right, to see if it actually saved it. Right, let's try this first. And what we'll do is we'll do a sequence, because we're going to gradually save actors and stuff, right? And then level object, and then we're going to check it for different things. So that's our first one. We're going to save game actors. This is level actors, not played actors. Okay. And the interesting thing here is the only way we're going to know, because we're not going to be able to load it straight away, is in here we're going to have save game, right? And I'm expecting this number to go up. Right, so this file should get bigger as we save things. So 8 is going to save. Okay, but we're not, remember, we're not loading yet, so we're only saving. Right? So we open the door, then we're going to press 8, and that should have saved. Okay, so if we now go into our save games, well, it hasn't saved it. Well, actually it has. Right? And that's, I think, because we've not got this set up quite right for EMS. Yeah, it should just be BEP, it should be just that. Right? So, I'm going to go back in here. And we're going to delete that. And we're going to run this again. And then once this stream finishes in a little while, I'm going to do a little bit of investigation on this because I have got this stuff working before. So if I just refer back to it, it should become fairly obvious what's going on. So I just stop that. Dismiss, dismiss. And if we now go into save games, this has created a new file for us with the information for the level player and slot. Right, now that slot refers to a slot in EMS and not necessarily the slot at the moment that we are talking about. Right? But just for a laugh, and this is where things become kind of fun, I'm going to do that, and we're going to do a load. Right? And this is actually going to be a 9. Right? So the next thing is load actor, load game actors. Okay, and we'll just say level actors for this just now. Save this for now. And the interesting thing is going to be whether it does anything to this door or not to start with. I don't believe it will, right? I think there's a couple of steps we've got to take. Like, we've got to basically tell it that it's been a saved object, right? So we press 8. Right, press 8. We'll escape that. And if we press play again, and we press 9, yeah, it's not doing anything, but I'm not surprised at that at the moment. As I said, I need to refer back to a previous project where I used this just to get a general inkling of what we're going to do. Oh, we should actually try that, in fact, right? We should try that. So let's do that. And press play. Go to our door. And no, it didn't change the door at all. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave it there, guys. So, thank you for watching and popping by. I hope to see you again. I'll be back at 8 PM tonight. Check out the description. Hit the like and subscribe. In the description you will find links to my Discord, my Patreon where you can support the channel, and to my previous game on Steam which is on sale right now for $1. What a steal. So once again, thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.